You tell your clients to build systems, get organized, create habits, stop winging it with money. Then you close the laptop and you go back to your own business. No follow-up system, the intake's eating your Mondays, and your content is 3 weeks behind. The irony is real, and you already know it. So here's what this video is. I've been building an AI system for my own business, and this is what it looks like built for a financial coach. 5 layers from scratch: context, morning brief, client intake, content, and prospect follow-up. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to build and how to get started. Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan. I help founders build AI systems that run their business for them. Let's get into it. Layer 1 is the foundation. Everything's going to build on top of it. This is the Claude MD file, a text file that lives at the root of your workspace, so every time you open a Claude session, Claude reads it first. Think of it like a briefing document, the kind that you would hand to a new employee on day one. It's who you are, what the business does, who your clients are, and what you're working towards. Without it, Claude is still smart, but it's not specific. It doesn't know you're a coach, it doesn't know your program, and has no idea who your clients are. But when you add it to the workspace, every response, every draft, every output is all calibrated to your business. It uses the same brain that you have. You're giving it information from your own brain, so it actually knows the context. And here's what surprises people. It's not code, it's just plain English. You're describing your business and Claude holds it. So what goes into a coach's Claude.md file? Well, it's everything you can give it. Your programs, names, what's included, price points, and who each one is for, your client types, a specific person you work with, age, situation, pain point, where they started, and why they came to you, your voice, your tone, your content pillars, and the things you always come back to, and how you talk to those clients, your current priorities, your goals, what you're building right now, and where you want to be. Now, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Most of it's just writing it down, and you already know what your business does. Now, what breaks if you skip this layer? Technically, nothing. Everything should still work because Claude Code is pretty smart. But it sounds like Claude, not you. A client email is going to read like a corporate template. Content ideas are generic, the kind you find anywhere on the internet, and you're going to end up rewriting everything AI gives you, which really defeats the point of using AI in the first place. Every session is going to start from zero because Claude has nothing to go on. So you're going to spend the first 10 minutes re-explaining your business every time. And that's the hidden cost. And here's the thing I didn't expect. Most coaches have never written down anything they do in one place. But when you do it for the first time, the gaps are going to start to show up. You realize your offer is fuzzier than you thought, and writing it for Claude forces that clarity. And it's going to do it like your sales page never did. Some coaches will look at their whole business on one page for the first time, and either it's more manageable than they expected, or they're going to see exactly where the chaos lives. And if you discover mid-write that they've drifted from who they were trying to serve, writing this document becomes a strategy session. So before you build anything else, you should build this. Now let's get into the morning brief. What do you do every morning? Usually you open your email and respond to anything that needs responding to. You check your calendar and go over the day's meetings. You open a spreadsheet or two to check your KPIs. But you don't have one place that tells you what you actually need to know today. You go to a separate app to see who's paid and who hasn't, another one for upcoming sessions. You'll scroll to Instagram or YouTube for those analytics and check how your content is doing. And the whole check-in takes around 45 minutes. By the end of it, you're not really sure what to prioritize. The information exists, it's just scattered everywhere and hard to read. Now imagine this instead. Every morning at 7 a.m., you get a message. One place, and it's all of the information you need. Your client pipeline, who's in what stage, who's overdue, and who's just completed onboarding. It includes your follow-up list with specific names of 3 people who haven't responded and to reach out today. It'll tell you how your content is performing and what needs attention right now, and none of that required any manual input. It generated automatically from your own data every single morning, creating this difference that really matters. An email will tell you what other people want from, but this brief tells you what your business needs from. Your calendar shows you where your time is going, but the brief shows you where your attention should be going. Neither of them synthesize. You still have to figure out what all the information means, but the brief does that for you. Email gives you data, while the brief gives you a decision. So instead of starting each morning with a question mark, you start it with a plan. The mental load lifts, you stop carrying it in your head with who to follow up with, who's drifting, what's performing, and you walk into your coaching sessions knowing the business is being watched, not hoping nothing fell through the cracks while your head was down. And the best part, while you're on holiday and you've handed the reins to somebody else for a bit, the brief still runs. You can glance at it and know everything's fine, or see the one thing that needs a quick reply. That's layer 2. Now let's get into the next layer. A new sign just climbed, and that's great. Now the real work starts, before the coaching even begins. First, you send the contract manually, and you chase down that signature. Then you type out the welcome email, or find the last one you sent and edit it. You share the intake form link and check if they fill it out, and follow up if they don't. Then you send a calendar invite, an onboarding doc, the portal access, and homework for session 1. All of that happens before you've had a single conversation with them. And for a solo coach, one new client can eat a full Monday morning before the week even starts. Why would you do this manually? Here's what the automated version looks like. A client signs up, and a sequence fires automatically. The contract goes out, the welcome email lands, and the intake form is sent all at once. And when that form comes back, the workspace reads it, it starts pulling their goals and their starting situation, and creates a client brief ready for you to review. The first session homework goes out on a schedule, and not when you remember to send. You get notified when they complete each step, and not when they don't, so there's no chasing. By the time you sit down for session 1, you already know who they are, what they want, and where they're starting from. All you need to do is read the brief and be ready to coach. Now, what's the cost of doing this manually? Well, obviously time, but it's not just time. It's the context switching. You go from coaching to admin and back again. And that transition costs you more than you think. When every step is manual, every step is something you can forget. Something ends up not getting sent and your reputation takes a hit. In coaching, first impressions matter, and a clunky, delayed onboarding tells a client something about how your business runs, even if your coaching is excellent. Here's the ceiling it creates. You could coach more than 12 clients, but you're stuck because the overhead per client is too high. And you've probably already felt this. On the Monday where 2 new clients signed over the weekend, you spend the whole day doing paperwork instead of prep. Or you skip a step, forget their homework, delay the welcome, and the client will notice. Or you try to take a week off and realize there's no version of the intake that runs without you. Intake should be a system, not a task. When a new client signs, your job is to coach, not everything that becomes before that. Remember, if you want help building any of this in your own business, I offer a free AI discovery call, completely free, no strings attached. Link is in the description. Now let's move into the area before you even sign a client. Your content is how you get the clients. If you're a financial coach, you know this. But after a full day of sessions, the last thing you want to do is sit down and write. Your ideas are already there though. You said them out loud in every conversation today. You just have to go back through every recording and spend the energy turning those into posts and scripts. But since you're so exhausted, you don't. You end up with a content graveyard, a notes app full of half-baked ideas, or a document with 3 unfinished drafts, or a content calendar that is 2 to 3 weeks behind. And here's the thing. I said it a bit earlier, but the best content ideas were already said in your sessions. The energy you don't have isn't for the ideas. It's for the transition step. If you set up your AI correctly with a solid Claude.md file, your AI already knows you. It knows your program, your audience, your voice, and your pillars. And knowing all that, it can allow you to capture rough ideas, a sentence, a client question, or something you said on call, and you could have a system that turns it into a structured outline or a first draft that's ready to edit for social. And it won't sound like a generic AI post. It sounds like you because it's drawing from your meetings. It's drawing from the words that you've actually said. You can go from a note in your phone, such as I keep getting asked about a debt snowball versus avalanche, to a full YouTube script or a LinkedIn post, all in under an hour. The time you spend with clients also becomes a resource for your content. Your content doesn't fail because you lack ideas. You probably have so many, but it's a little overwhelming. It's just the transition step that's breaking it. Turning an insight to a finished post means going from a coaching brain to a creator brain, which is an expensive switch. But it doesn't have to be just you making that switch. You don't have to be the most creative coach to post most consistently. You just need a system that removes the friction between the idea and the output. Without it, content is reactive. You post when you have time and you go quiet when you don't. Your audience learns not to rely on you, but when the system is running, content stops being the thing that falls through. You're going to build an audience that knows you're consistent, and that's worth more than any single viral post. And you become something worth noticing. The financial coach who teaches financial systems, now with systems of their own. One coaching session could generate 3 pieces of content for you. One for YouTube, one for LinkedIn, and an email list. Each piece going somewhere different. And setting this up is easier than you think. You probably already record your coaching sessions for your clients and for your own use. And there's apps like Fathom that can join your calls for free. They transcribe, they record, and they pull out action notes and summaries, which is all useful for you and your client anyway. So you can set up Claude Code to pull these transcriptions every morning, cross-reference them with your content ideas in your Claude.md, and generate an entire content pipeline ready for you to start creating. Now content becomes just something that happens while you coach. Now when you do sign clients, like every industry, financial coaches also have leads that go cold. You'll get on a discovery call, they'll say they're interested, and then there's silence. 80% of sales close after the 5th follow-up, and most coaches stop after 1 or 2. Some don't even follow up at all, not because they don't care, but because follow-up requires remembering, scheduling, and writing. All the things that fall off when coaches get busy. There are 3 categories of people that need touching regularly: discovery call leads, past clients, and referral sources. Many coaches don't have a system for any of them. So here's what automated follow-up looks like. It doesn't just decide a follow-up is necessary, it's a sequence that fires based on triggers. Firstly, someone books a discovery call, and that sequence starts. They end up not converting, so a nurture sequence starts. A client completes the program, so a check-in sequence starts. The AI is writing the messages from your Claude.md file so they sound like you, and they go out whether you're coaching or you're sleeping. Past clients get check-ins at 30, 60, and 90 days. Referrals get touched on a cadence with no sales pitch, just something to stay on their radar, and the silence stops becoming the reason you lose deals. Here's something worth knowing about cold prospects. When someone goes quiet, it's usually not because they weren't interested, it's just because life got in the way. They got busy, they forgot, and a well-timed follow-up 6 weeks after the call often will get a response. Every lead you don't follow up with is revenue already half earned. You did the work on the discovery call, but you left the money on the table. Referrals work the same way. The person who could send you clients just hasn't heard from you in months. You're not on their radar anymore because you haven't stayed on it. But imagine an automated system where all of this follow-up is done for you. Now, here's where I want to land this. You could pick any of these 5 different layers, just one, and it's going to give you your time back, in some way or another. All 5 systems reduce the manual work holding you at whatever ceiling you're at. You teach financial systems for a living, but you don't have a system that runs your own business. So, when you set even one of these up, you'll give your clients a better experience. You're no longer context switching between admin and coaching anymore, so you can just coach. Your pipeline will keep moving, whether you're on calls or not, so your business keeps growing because you have the time to let it. These AI systems don't make you a different coach. They give you the space to be the coach you already are and maybe even get better at it. If you want help implementing any of this into your own business, I do a free AI discovery call completely free, no strings attached, link in the description. And if you haven't already subscribed, I post regular videos like this showing you how to build an AI system that actually runs your business. Thank you for watching.